The first part of the 8th session of the Human Rights Council had two events that concerned Sri Lanka closely. Before that, there was the presentation of the UN High Commissioner, Louise Arbour, who didn't really specially mention Sri Lanka, but her speech drew attention to the importance also of economic and social rights, which of course is an area in which Sri Lanka does very well. The two special events were the reports of Mr. Walter Kalin, the representative on internally displaced persons, and a follow-up report by Philip Alston, the special reporter on extrajudicial killings. Mr. Kalin's report was very positive. We had worked together with him very well. He visited in December and had made certain comments about how we should improve things, but he has also been helping us to improve them. We've been working on a new act, and I think that was an extremely fruitful discussion. We met him afterwards last evening, just before he left, and we felt it was a wonderful example of how the UN can work. Philip Alston was slightly different in that he had been there 2 years ago. His report then was very critical of the LTT but drew attention to certain shortcomings. But unfortunately, he hasn't actually been discussing things with us recently. Even though we've written to him, he hasn't replied. So that this follow-up report came as a bit of a surprise because he didn't consult us, which is unusual. But in fact, Mr. Alston is an unusual rapporteur, and most of his report this time was a vast attack on the position of NATO in Afghanistan because he felt they were in flagrant violation of human rights. And of course, he made his points very clearly, but NATO had apparently been very annoyed and accused him of not really looking at the evidence properly. In the case of Sri Lanka also, we could have wished that he'd consulted us because he'd just taken a few statistics from some NGOs that haven't been very responsible and had not bothered to look at our replies. But we felt anyway that we should continue to talk, so we've arranged a meeting with him at which we'll discuss areas of concern and how we can strive to really improve our situation, because some of the points he made were very valid. The government of Sri Lanka had come to those conclusions independently, that we should engage in better training. For instance, the army at the moment has an excellent human rights training record, which is why its own record is really quite good, and we can extend it perhaps to other areas as well. So it was in fact quite a positive 2 days.